Hello. Nice to meet you again. This video is a collection of how to color in both Designer Persona and Pixel Persona. I hope it will be useful for everyone including beginners. Starting with Designer Persona. I have prepared this pair in my style, simple first. In Designer Persona, is it necessary to draw lines in vector ink? Not always. You just can't use the Vector Flood Fill tool. Using the Vector Flood Fill tool is easy, just click on the desired area, with the condition that the area must be closed. If not, expand it, and the last node point must snap to one of the lines. If you want more details, you can watch the Draw With Me video on my channel. We will focus on coloring in Pixel Persona. For those who are familiar with other drawing programs, we can use the pencil tool to color. That's why I told you that if you want sharp, high-quality work in vector mode. In my opinion, I think you should just draw lines. You can color in Pixel Persona. When you have drawn the desired color area, I recommend that you add all the parts that have the same color into one piece. It will be easier to select, add shadows, or add details. For the brush in Designer Persona, only the solid brush can expand stroke. As for coloring to fill the area, it is recommended to expand the stroke line as well, in case you will pass on the work to others. Or another way is to draw a line around it, then expand it. Then use the Vector Flood Fill tool to fill it, then add. It's similar to the general coloring method, except that it's a vector. The easiest way is to draw a line, then use the Vector Flood Fill tool to click on that line, and it will fill it with color. In Designer Persona, there is also a clipping mask, where you click the insert inside the selection button above, then color with a brush, pencil, and create various shapes. Why do we need to work with vectors? Sometimes I don't think about the character's colors beforehand and I use it to easily adjust colors and edit lines. Hopefully it will be good in the next version. That's all for now. Next in Pixel Persona. The Flood Fill tool is like the bucket tool in Photoshop, and it works the same. There is a coloring method similar to the programs you are familiar with, but the tool names are different. When coloring, set the tolerance to the appropriate level. If it's too low, it won't fill the entire area. In Affinity Designer you can create a reference layer. By creating a new pixel layer above the ink line, set the source of the Flood Fill tool to current layer and below. This way you can separate the color layer from the line art layer. Using the Flood Select tool to select the outside area and invert the selection is another method that works well. When you use any tool below the window, there are shortcut keys. Try using them. You can separate the colors into each layer or combine them, depending on the type of work or your expertise. For painting in the color layer, there are two methods. The first is using the brush tool for painting inside by clicking the Protect Alpha checkbox at the top of the brush tool. The second is creating a clipping mask. There are several ways to fill colors, such as drawing around the desired area with the brush tool and using the flood fill tool, or using the freehand selection tool to draw the area and then painting it. I think that coloring in each program is quite similar and with similar working methods. I often say that the programs work similarly. Try the Affinity suite, you might like it. Affinity is not sponsoring me. When I first discovered it, I like it right away. I'll tell you common coloring techniques that you can apply to your own work. It's not very complicated and the methods are quite similar. Making a clipping mask by creating a new pixel layer and dragging it into the desired color layer, then you can paint on that layer. It's easier than using Protect Alpha. Protecting Alpha means you paint directly into that layer. But if you use clipping mask, it's easier to edit your work. Sometimes my video may not explain in detail, but if you know how to do it, you can use it all the time. I think that in principle, Affinity Designer is not primarily designed for drawing. You and I would not expect it to do better than other drawing programs. Personally, I think it does it quite well. I like it in part. There are some things that are not like the tools in Illustrator or other programs. But that's okay. Some things work well. There may be a bit of a complicated way to do it, but I think the results are similar. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for following my channel and watching this video.